Yep, we're live. Hello, everybody. Slightly Slanted Sleuth, also known as Steve. Oops. Joined today with Jack. How are you today, Jack?
I'm all right. I'm not too bad.
Hello, everybody.
My ego's unhinged, but my soul's good. So,
Your ego's unhinged. Holy cow. I've been going through crazy ego issues.
dude. So yeah, man. I mean, what we just gonna improvise?
We'll just wing it, man. Just wing it. Whatever you want to talk about. I don't like getting into the deep rabbit hole stuff, but I can entertain it for a minute.
Well, yeah, man. That's why I say like my ego feels like it's unhinged, or I don't know if it. I don't know if your soul can be unhinged. Um, the ancient Greeks thought it was indestructible and indivisible,
Hmm.
and I kind of hear in the New Age circles like how you can lose shards of your soul, but I'm not sure if that's the case. I think you can have like deep unconscious trauma that needs healing that can maybe scar your soul. I don't know. I'm just kind of theorizing here, making it up as I go along. Be a great new age person. But yeah, no, look, I mean, I don't know. I hit you up to see if you wanted to just do a live stream tonight because I don't know. I feel I don't know now. I don't know if it's within me and I'm projecting it on the outside world, or it's out in the outside world, and that's what I'm feeling. But I feel the mechanics of evil operating in the world right now and in my own life. You know, and this is the thing. I think I don't know if it's within me or and like I'm just butthurt that life's being ruined by whoever's ruining it.
Right.
But I think it's a legitimate. Um, I think it's a legitimate case. You know. Um, yeah, man. Just I don't know, man. It's just feels a bit. It feels like it's the epitome of Kali Yug, as we talked about the other day, man.
Mhm.
I mean, have you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I've said, I'm not blind to the narcissistic people or the evil or the I guess the rich elite that don't give a damn about humanity at the helm of our ship. I'm well aware of that. Yet, I think there's nothing we can do as individuals, especially on the platforms that we're on. I'm not saying all is hopeless either, but I think that the media is compromised, YouTube is compromised, Zoom, all these platforms are compromised already. They're
Oh
in the
yeah.
pockets of the people that are running this show,
Well,
right?
well, well, here's a point I want to bring up on that. What you just said. I watched Yvonne's latest video about how the ego hates the soul,
Yes,
and she said it was really good. And how she
yes, it
said,
was.
the ego doesn't care if it dies. It's like, well, I can't have what I want. I'm just gonna. And she cited high suicide rates to give evidence on that. And I thought that was a very good point. But then she said, this is what got me. She said, the ego doesn't care if other people die, i.e., lack of compassion. And it's kind of backwards because the collateral death from the collective insanity is, I mean, I was watching about in Britain and Ireland. It is kind of, it's incalculable, the collateral from what's going on. And see, this is why you don't have people with wisdom, because someone with wisdom would say, do you know what? We've got this wrong. We admit we got this wrong. Let's move on. But there's the doubling down effect, and
Hmm.
I just think it's a great shame. And the point that I made to you um, when we text yesterday, if you hold people in fear in perpetuity, how can they attain a state of relaxation and then contemplate on lofty, substantial, the real important stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And
That makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's I think it's awful, really. I think it's awful. I had a video removed by YouTube, and what I can't work out is that I don't want to badmouth YouTube too much because I've met some great people and learned some fantastic knowledge from YouTube. I don't think YouTube's the problem. I think it's the people at the helm running YouTube that are the problem.
Right.
But you know, I'm just what I'm curious about is why is it like videos with hundreds of thousands of views and channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers saying the same thing that I adduced are left alone, but they came after like little old me with 70,000 subscribers. I find that like, you know, are they afraid of the things we talk about generally? Because we try and talk about the truth in an absolute sense, you know.
Mhm.
And I just I you know and how we have the plant kingdom of life, which tends to the animal kingdom of, you know, really subconsciousness and movement, which is the pinnacle of that is man or some other aliens like man that have a carnal mind and the ability to communicate consciously with one another. So, you know, and you take the Greek word for the demiurge was the demiurgos, or they also called it the logos,
Mhm.
which is what you were just saying to me about the word and consciousness before, you know, the relating consciousness to the word. And I think that anyone who believes that they're acting in a moral high ground by suppressing what someone's own thoughts are, I can't get my head around that. I just can't. I can't empathize with that. I really can't.
No, censorship is the utmost. It could be. It's akin to killing you. I mean, pretty much taking your word away. I mean, like you just said, the word is it, right? I mean, the logos is
Yeah.
the beginning of our consciousness, and you know.
You know, to analyze that in detail, it's not like, so the demiurge is a thing, right? It's
Mhm.
the thing in the abyss, the light in the abyss.
Mhm.
Looks like the pineal gland with the beams of light protruding from it. Okay, so it's
Mhm.
not actually like a word, but it is
No,
word, but it's the word of God that creates that, and it as our creator bestows the ability for us to communicate. So it's an apt description to call it the logos, right?
right, but I mean, the word is what creates the abyss in the essence of it, right? I mean, it creates the environment for the light to occur out of God. That's the trifecta of God right there, right?
Yeah, God creates the infinite pulse that
Yes,
generates the abyss, that generates the light within the abyss.
yes, and
You
we
know,
are that infinite pulse, our consciousness.
yeah, I don't think we need to get like too muddled up in the semantics of it here.
And that's exactly what the issue is with a lot of people is semantics. That's what I wanted to talk about was that, you know, how people will think it's this or think it's that, or you know, like I've been trying to convey to you this epiphany I had yesterday, and you still haven't heard exactly what I said.
Well, yeah, no,
You know what I mean by that?
yeah,
And it's because my communication is totally different from your communication because that's what it's all about. Our perspective is what it's all about. You
well,
know?
this is the infinite subjective portions
Yeah.
of Sri Govinda as Vishnu.
Yes.
You know, I read this book, the Sri Brahma Samhita, 5th chapter, and it's very short. It's only like 60 odd verses, but it says Govinda, Sri Govinda or Krishna exists in every atom in his fullness, in every atom of the universe, which is obviously the the motionless fulcrum that allows everything to move around it because it's all in movement and in motion. Transient reality, you know. I
Yeah,
find that
everything that vibrates is of the material world.
I
Right?
find that I find that so interesting, Steve.
It is, huh?
And that they you know, we accredit that idea that all atoms are in vibration and oscillation. We attribute that to modern science. I read some book where, like 10,000 years ago, these
Yes.
fucking yogis were talking about this
The
idea.
Hotep document that we were talking about that one day, it says it.
Yeah, it's crazy, eh? I just, but I think that's a product of the attempted secularization of the world. I don't know if it was, I think maybe it's a natural secularization. But I read an article the other day how
You're letting the dark in, brother. I can tell. I can
what do
see
you
that
mean?
in you right now, what you're talking, how you're talking, and I can see it. Really.
Yeah, man. I tell you,
It's because of your circumstances.
oh God, my circumstances are awful right now. I
Yes.
won't, speak about that on
Right.
YouTube.
But
My, my,
in
my
general,
life,
I know,
my
so
life sucks right now.
yeah.
But I mean, I don't like. I'm always like happy with what I need in life, and
Mhm.
like physically, I have everything I need here. But I'm missing other things of an abstract nature that aren't getting so like my soul's not being nourished in that respect.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, things are dark, man,
I
and
can tell
yeah,
just by the stuff you're talking about.
yeah, I feel it, man. I feel
Yeah.
it,
Well, that's good.
and I know it's like as much as it's outside of myself, it's within myself. But like I said, like I can't wrap my head around like disallowing someone to like speak their mind or think freely or
That's why they
vocalize.
call it a business. That's why they call YouTube a business. That's why they call these social media platforms a business. That's why there's a EULA agreement. And that's why they're legally covered
But this
to
doesn't
be
make
able to
sense.
censor you and block
This doesn't, but this is what doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you're a business, why would you disenfranchise your customers?
because of the advertisement money they perceive they will not receive for certain content. That's their quote unquote guys anyway. That's
Yeah,
the guys that are going under. Where in my opinion, I think it's more than that. I think it's there's a YouTube Gestapo for certain subjects, because there's certain subjects, and I'm not saying that just because it's a subject I'm interested in, but like you said, what's true isn't popular and what's popular isn't true. And and if I ain't selling it, ain't nobody buying it. If I was an unboxing channel unboxing a freaking brand new iPhone right now, there'd be 1,000 people here.
How many
Sending
people we
money at
got?
me, super chatting me, all this other bullshit. But
Mm.
since we're talking about, what is true, it's not popular, and that's what we got to deal with.
Yeah, no, I've always been very content to have a very, very low viewership because that's
Well, I don't
always,
really care about that either. I just want to
yeah,
help.
but I could like make a fucking nice production video of like, I don't know, fucking, I could get a round the world fucking plane ticket in first class and try all these airlines first class and drop 50 grand on it and make a video on it. Here's another thing. There's another phenomenon I don't understand on YouTube. I keep getting recommended these videos of like these kind of like hot girls playing guitar or bass, and they've got like millions and millions of views.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I find it quite insulting because like some of the greatest musicians that have ever lived I don't blame the girls, but it's that I don't know, maybe it's that Scorpio force, that potent sexual energy that's just building that momentum. I mean, think about it.
Well, when
Pornography
you
is
see
what
a hot
created
chick
the
on
internet.
screen, I mean,
I don't know.
If you're human, you want to watch it.
I just I don't understand it, man. I can't wrap my head around it, you know.
Well,
But
I used
no,
to be a
I mean,
bouncer for a strip bar, and it's like watching a NASCAR race. I ain't driving it, so I don't want to be watching it. You know what I mean?
funny, yeah.
That's how it is, man. Right? Can you see the chat on YouTube?
So I could go to it.
What do you guys think of Samuel on Weor? It's AUNWEOR. Says many people believed he was an angel. Bruno asked what we thought of him. I haven't heard of him. And somebody else says, did you guys hear about the James Ian or Lamb YouTube attack? No, I haven't heard about that.
Yeah. Yeah, they sent YouTube sent me a real shitty email. And I appealed it and I wrote something like, "You're all cunts, fuck you."
Calm the language
And they were like, upon reviewing your appeal, we have decided to uphold our decision. It's like, oh yeah, really?
Oh, you demanded a manual?
No, I just appealed it and said,
Yeah.
fuck you.
When they pulled it down, yeah.
Yeah, I just
You know, that whole situation with the CV thing and in the whole suppression of certain information around that, you know, and you know, just the blatant overreaction to it in the media and whatever is dude, I live in Minnesota. And here there's a mandate for masks everywhere. You can't go outside without people looking at you funny if you ain't got a mask on your face.
I'm not fucking wearing.
Okay, now I go over to Wisconsin because they closed the bowling alleys down here. So I went over to Wisconsin, which is just 20 minutes away from here. And I go on the other side of the border and I go into a bar of the bowling alley. Not one person's wearing a mask, dude. Not one.
Yeah. No, obviously California is like, you must wear a mask.
Yeah.
And like I refuse to do it because and this is the thing, they say, oh, you need to protect the greater good, the collective. It's like, come on, man, this is what they said in Stalinist Russia, like, you need to fucking give up your shit for the greater good, you know. I mean, like, I've always been a rebel, Steve.
Well, yeah, me too.
I've always rebelled against teacher, minister, parent.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't rebel to like divine authority. And like a part of what, you know, I'm like the old school fucking original Americans. Like, I came here to get away from soft tyranny in the United Kingdom, you know, only to be tyrannized again. You know, I just
the confusion.
But I'm making my decision based on the scientific data. That's what I'm making my decision based upon, you know. And I just, here's the other thing as well, man. Like, let's say for argument's sake, Jesus Christ existed, right? Personally, I don't believe he did. But for argument's sake, let's say he did. And it's the message that he says that's the really important thing, not the historical figure. That gets convoluted. But anyway, that's a whole nother debate. For argument's sake, say Jesus existed, right? Do you think he would have worn a mask in our time if he'd seen the scientific data that we'd all basically had herd immunity already, and no one's actually, you've got such a small chance of contracting the disease from
I don't know about that, man, because it ran through my community and the people I know, and like 5 out of 25 people got it.
Yeah, they would have got coronavirus, but did it give them? Did they contract COVID-19 as well?
Yeah, yes, they all got it. Like 5% of the bowling alley, you know, or 25% of the bowling alley did.
How long ago was that?
Just this last month, and it was before that I only knew a few people that had it, and then through my wife and my daughter, you know, because of nurses. But you know, but who's to say who's to say anything about it? I mean, none of them died, obviously. Yet a couple of them still can't smell or taste anything, which is weird.
Mhm.
Now, there's something more to this whole thing than just it's a flu or that. There is no such thing as herd immunity when it comes to this either. I think it's like the flu. It's going to be here every year now.
Maybe. I
I don't
mean,
think we're going to eradicate it from our population. It's going to be like
you
an
know,
inoculation type vaccine thing. You're going to have the choice whether or not you want to take it or not.
I heard the complete opposite. I've heard the complete opposite to that. That because coronaviruses have been around since time immemorial,
Hmm.
we have T cell immunity
Yeah, I've heard
to
of
a
that
whole
too.
to a whole
The
family.
zoological ones.
Yeah, and well, this is the thing. We don't even know if it was genetically engineered or not.
Yeah,
just
we do.
don't.
You can tell if it was spliced or not.
Well,
And there's been scientific studies on that.
so it's definitely been confirmed as a man-made virus.
It's no, it's not. It's not. There's no hiccups in the DNA sequence or in the RNA sequence.
So it's a naturally existing virus.
Yes, and the reason why it crossed over is because it was like the lady who swallowed the fly. She swallowed the fly to catch the bird to whatever. That whole thing.
Or
Was
AIDS
because
was started by someone banging a monkey or something like
yeah,
that.
just like that. But I mean, somebody ate a snake that ate a bat.
Uh, right. I mean, look.
I don't know. I wasn't there. That's why I don't
Yeah.
even concern myself with it. I'm just dealing with what I mean. My kids haven't been in school all year. Their freaking psychology is going downhill. I mean, they're sad all the time. They can't go anywhere. They're not socializing with their friends.
Well,
We can't do anything.
this is more of the collateral damage.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
here's another point is that, like, Christians always talk about having faith in Jesus, and I know the way they come from it, but okay, let's extrapolate that thought to like a mystical point of view. That would be you have faith in your ability to attain logos or the pineal light, right? Our creator has given us immune systems that since time immemorial have fought off these kind of epidemics and pandemics. And I trust nature far more than I do big pharma.
Well, nature's not against you or for you, so yeah, I mean, it's there.
Well, I don't mean it in that sense, whether nature's for or against me. What I mean is that nature itself completes the great work when a flower blooms. Do you know what I mean?
Well, right.
Like,
Without nature,
nature's already done it all for us. We just have to basically go that final narrow path. And yeah, man, I don't know. It's Babylon, really, is the term. Like confusion, mass.
Well, think of this: like you said, the Yuga, the Kali Yuga. What if every time our population gets to this point, we all admit that we're at a point where everything's going amok. The chaos is just ensuing everywhere. I mean, you turn on any sort of news, you see there's riots in Germany, there's riots in Hong Kong, there's in places where there's communist governments, there's actually, there's riots.
Don't be fooled by that, Steve, because the news media are focusing on.
I agree with that.
Chaos, and they want you to focus on what they want you to focus on.
Yes, that's my point.
It's their choice. That every day there are great stories of human
right
people sacrificing things,
helping each other,
help save others. There's great acts of compassion every day, but you don't hear about those because it's the old divide and rule, man. But here's the thing: is that I definitely think. See, when you analyze the occult, you always look for coincidences. Coincidences are the footprints or the fingerprints of occult operations, whether it's a group of people doing an operation or a single practitioner.
Well, that's how they know they're on track when they're doing what they're doing, right?
Well, this is my point, and I know this from personal experience. Anyway, I won't give examples, but So what I find funny is that, you know, there's this really controversial election, and then they announce the day after the press announces Biden, they also announce the vaccine, and then the stock market hikes. You know, it goes to a
Yeah.
bull market, and I'm just like, this is
And no more riots either, you know. No more protests.
yeah. Another thing that got me down, and I don't know if Phil would agree with this, because you know Phil's Phil. But I spoke to a friend back in London. I went to school with. I'd
There's
spoken
Londoners
to,
in chat right now.
huh?
There's a few Londoners in chat right now.
Well, this is if the Londoners in the chat can attest to what my friend told me. So he lives in Streatham, which is kind of the inner suburbs, right? And he said to me that the area where he lives is a cultural dystopia, because you've got the left woke mob just, you know, they've basically usurped the organic culture. And then he said, like, there's mass unemployment as well. Like, for every job you're getting 1,000 applicants now. And he said
Wow.
he's just volunteering at a homeless shelter and reading at home. It's all he's doing, you know. And I don't know if that's true or not, because I'm not in London, but I'm looking at the government response and how they're stifling. They're not even listening to, like, the British government aren't even listening to. They've ignored the most authoritative sources in the medical field to double down and make the second lockdown. I just, I really, it just seems like very sinister
What
to
do you
me.
mean they've ignored it? What are you talking about? What did they ignore?
Oh well,
The doctor said that you don't have to lock down?
oh
Is what
yeah,
you
they
mean?
were told don't lock down, and there's data. There's scientific data that proves unequivocally lockdown has a negligible effect of stopping the virus. However, the collateral damage from lockdown, from like people with heart disease, people with cancer, people with other kind of complications not getting
Depression.
seen, the cost benefit analysis is negligible. It's
Right.
just, so it's like, this gets me back to Yvonne, what she said earlier. The ego doesn't care if other people die, and I'm seeing that right now, and it just, man, I guess this is why the Gnostics painted Yaldabaoth as evil, you know.
Right.
But we're focusing on one side of the polarity here. It's one side of the coin. So I don't
Because
know
that's
if,
what you're experiencing right now, and that's the ebb and flow of life, right?
yeah, I mean, Mr. Mensa thinks it's an all-planned agenda, and I'm struggling to disagree with him. I really am.
I think it's just a bunch of idiot, ignorant people that are after the dollar and don't care about anything else because they don't think anything else exists. Yeah, our science has brought us to a point right now where we think that we are it and there's nothing else afterwards.
Well, you know, this is what we said about what's what I was going to say about secularization before you noticed, like, the darkness consuming me, is that they predicted in the 1960s, like, the age of science is here, empirical science.
Mhm.
They predicted that secularization would be the way forward, and religion and metaphysics and spirituality would decline. That hasn't happened.
No, it's
It
only getting
hasn't
bigger
happened.
now.
It's been, you know, I think it's connected with the fact that Pluto has gone into Scorpio, which deals with the hidden and the occult. Like, my generation is of that Pluto in Scorpio, so there's been this, like, resurgence. But like, and the other point I wanted to make that we kind of got sidetracked on with the kind of cabal, if you call them that, and the coincidences. There's definitely, like, chaos magic being committed upon the masses, and I definitely think that. I look around and I see people getting away from each other and, like, wearing their masks and shit, and it's like they're under a spell. To me, it looks like they're under a spell. It really does. And I'd intuitively felt that way for a long time until I looked at medical professionals go through the data and analyze it and show the
Okay, Jack. So suppose that everything you're saying is right and real. Now what? And I'm not trying to be a smartass or facetious.
no, but it's a very good point. It's a very good point. And I mean, not now what in see. I interpret that question.
And I'm not saying cower up and curl into the wall and sit in the corner either.
I tell you how I interpret that question. You say, now what? I don't interpret it as what can we do about it to stop this in society. I interpret it as, well, what can you do to continue your journey on the great work?
That's exactly.
How'd you get back on the straight and narrow path? That's how I interpret that question.
That's exactly how I meant it.
Yeah.
It is really.
You need to get out and fucking.
Seriously, brother. I mean, what else is there, man? I mean, like we've agreed on before, we are a universe onto ourselves. That's what the multiverse is that everybody has a universe of their own, you know, and each universe tallies in for the whole, you know.
Yeah.
If we take our own universes into the stillness of what heaven is, the rest will take care of itself eventually, you know. That's my feeling on it. You know, I can't say that I know because I don't know for sure, but I can, you know, it's got to be better than what's going on today, you know. Yeah. And I can't change anybody else but myself. I can't drag anybody else to like that whole word thing when I was on Code's. Yes, and that's what we're doing, Mensa, waking people up.
Yeah, the other thing as well is that my own spiritual practice has taken an absolute nosedive of late. Like I haven't been doing like my daily like meditations, and I've just like it's just like I feel like I'm bound in some way. And you know, they say like when you start the great work, if you just decide to like stop halfway through and just be a mundane person again, like it ain't good. Basically, you can't initiate transformation and like quit before it's done. I think this is what they mean when they say like, you know, they hear in the new age, oh, it's dangerous to open your chakras and kundalini. What you're doing, and they're talking nonsense. But I think there is a point there. It's like, I don't know.
If you go halfway, you're just spitting in the face of the creator and God right there. I mean, if you go halfway, you're cheating yourself out of what you strive for. I mean, what's the point?
But the thing is, I'm tired, Steve.
So am I. But I'm tired of my own ego.
Then that's what I mean. I don't mean, oh, I'm tired, I want to go to bed. I mean, like, my soul just feels, and my ego as well. I think my ego is just getting ground down to like nothing, which is a good thing. Like, I celebrate
that. Fights, doesn't it?
You know, I don't know if anyone knows about Vedic astrology, but you have the 12 signs of the zodiac, and then you have 27 nakshatras. The first one's called Ashwini, and the last one's called Bravati. And each nakshatra has 4 parts. And like, yeah, like my fucking, your ruling planet in Vedic astrology is called your Atmakaka. And like mine is like Jupiter, and it's in the last part of the last nakshatra. And I just like, I really do feel like I'm at the end. And now I'm confused. Is this with what Yvonne said earlier? Is just my ego just giving up and being like, I don't want to do it. It's too difficult. I don't know.
You know, I almost deleted my channel the other day. I got into this ego tussle on Code's live stream, you know, just chat where everybody hangs out and, you know, talks about spiritual things. Or no, it was on Max's channel, I think. Yeah, it was on Max's channel. And I've been over pushing my point of view, you know, and I didn't realize I was doing it. But, you know, somebody acted like that, acts like me, got in my face, and, you know, I handled it quite better than I usually would have in my past. But, I still got worked up over it. And, you
Yeah,
know, I felt like I took 14 steps back from the one step I gained forward in the last year or two. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I
yeah.
just about deleted my channel, dude. I was this close. I deleted a bunch of videos,
You're
and
like,
dude, I was just like, I was just, dude, I was like, this, oh man. And you know what? It was my ego that kept me from pushing that button, dude.
oh, well, this is the thing. I've got absolutely no attachment to my channel. That's why I mean, like, I did want to like do lots of like exegeses on my channel and like get it going, but like something just stopped me from doing it. And like, I don't care if like, see, this is the thing. A lot of people, YouTubers, they're so attached to their channel, it's become a digital extension of their own ego. So they're going to fall in line to these community guidelines. I think I might just launch a massive revile on the people that run YouTube and let them
This
fucking
guy
speak.
named Ransom, I don't know if you know who 420 TV Productions are or TV News is.
No,
He's
no.
he got his channel deleted, you know, because of his content he was putting out. But anyway, now he's putting out videos like condom sniffer, and he's all kinds of crazy shit like that, just to see if, you know, I think he's doing it just to see if they're gonna come down on him, or
Push the
but
envelope.
they won't come down on him for that shit.
No, no, because it generates views.
Yes, that they come down on him for talking about, what was it, the ice age that's coming, or you know, the whatever the latest conspiracy is about the earth going cold and all that. I forget what it's called. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? What is it called,
yeah,
guy?
man. I must admit, I'd be sad if you deleted your channel.
Well, that's the reason why I didn't do it, is because of the community I got here. You know, we have here. You know, the connect
Not just the community, but there's great value in the videos you've
in
done
that
with
too. Yes,
Yvonne and
all
Phil.
I did think all of
and
the
and
interviews
and
I've
and,
done.
and yeah, and the other guests you've had on, you know, there's great value in that. I don't know if people rewatch them much. I mean,
No, I don't think they
I
do.
definitely watch them if I can't catch the live stream. But
Right.
yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I just but you know, going back to your question of like, what do we do? So taking that on the other perspective, taking the great work aside,
Mm-hmm.
you know, do you have, and I'm asking this question, do we have a moral obligation to say no to tyrants and bullies? Or, you know,
Yeah,
and
we
just,
do.
and just, you know, accept some cowardice for short-term peace of mind, for expedient short-term peace of mind? Like, surely there is, and this goes back to what I was asking about the historical Jesus, for argument's sake, let's say he existed. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he always spoke out against the Pharisees and the Romans. You know, he didn't let, you know, obviously in a real deep way. And I'm talking, this is on the literal level of the exegesis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think you should just say no to, like, look, if you're encountering a psychopath in your life, you have to like put your shields up and guard your mind and your spirit and even protect your ego, you can say. And I just think the fabric of our culture is being destroyed. And rather than see, all the things these people are demanding were the product of free market capitalism and classical liberalism,
Consumerism.
like rights, like, well, no, not consumerism. When I say free market capitalism, I mean I can do business with you and it's just between me and you.
No,
No one else has
that's
to
not
be
even
involved,
possible now.
you know.
Right.
And here's my point, like, the liberties and freedoms were a product of that, but now everyone's focused on the product, not the thing that resulted in the product. It's like Christians being focused on Jesus so much, the historical man Jesus, rather than understanding it's a product of something much greater. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's, you know, I don't know. I don't know what the
No,
fuck.
I totally get where you're coming from, dude. And we could we could all hope that we're going to be chickens tomorrow. Are we going to turn into chickens? That's my perspective. We can hope for a better tomorrow, but is hope going to get us there? Is what you're saying, right? No,
Well, this is, you
hope's
know,
not going to get us there. It's action that gets you there. So, what action can we take on an individual level?
yeah, it's interesting you say hope because it's like Agent Smith says or Morpheus in the Matrix, and this is echoed in the occult. If you hope that your operations will yield results in the occult, they won't work because you're simultaneously preparing for success and failure.
Yes.
That's why you need faith, but not
Yes.
faith as in, oh, I have
Blind
faith.
faith. Talking
It's
faith. That
not blind faith. Like it's faith as if I plant this seed and
it's gonna
nurture
grow.
it will sprout and it will grow. That
Mhm.
kind of knowingness,
Right.
It's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what makes the hero, right? Is in the face of all of this adversity, in the face of all this shit we're facing, all of
Yeah.
it.
There's an interesting
Can,
comment
can we
from
rise to the top? Can we rise above it?
well,
Or are we going to let it take us down?
yeah. Yeah, there's an interesting comment from No Name or No Nam. Most are hoping and relying on his return. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a whole subject of debate in itself.
Yes. Yes.
That's a
And
whole can of worms.
that is essentially what the issue is here, is because we are in the empirical age of science-based knowing, or proof. You want proof for everything, right? We can't prove that God exists. We can't prove that we are eternal beings. We can't prove anything. But I can
That's
prove
just
to you, that my heartbeat can be read on a machine, right?
yeah,
Just by
yeah.
plugging it in, putting a machine on me. So what is that?
Yeah,
What
but
is
don't
that
be
proof
fooled
of?
by that, Steve. That's only
Huh?
the secularist worldview. Not everyone in the world is just secular minded. A lot of you've got healthy skepticism of that, and so have I. But there's oh shit. I had a point that connected to that, and I've forgotten what it was. Yeah, that was my point. Is that the scientific method that was, deduced by Sir Isaac Newton came from practicing alchemy in the occult. If I try and invoke this angel at this time and burn these herbs and have these gemstones on my altar and say this incantation, what will happen? That's where the scientific method came from.
Yes, exactly. That was the
In the occult.
ritual. Yeah, that's the action part of the occult, right?
Yeah, and I find it bizarre. Well, I don't find it bizarre actually, because I understand how secularists think. And I'm not like going to think against them, but if you were to put that empirically, that's how the scientific method came into being, they still won't believe you. He was so Isaac Newton was an alchemist. So yeah, I don't know, man.
All of the top tier elite of the world, I have all been either Freemasons or alchemists. That doesn't mean that they were all bad, and
I
it doesn't
just
mean, the fact is that this knowledge that we talk about what our true purpose on this planet is veiled for reasons that we're seeing manifest right now, like you just said.
yeah,
They're probably using information that, and I hate the saying the there and them thing, because I honestly believe if we take care of ourselves in our own little world and our own deal with the enmity we have within us, and how everything else just piles on us, and it's just like endless. It's endless. It's like laundry, your laundry never ends, man.
well,
You're always,
that's the maintenance of the physical universe. That's what gives rise to work. That's the
right.
Saturnian archetype there, the management of the mundane world that is relentless. You can't just rest on your laurels in samsara. There's always shit to do. I tidied my room last week.
Tiny hole.
Tidied again. Yeah, I got to fucking make my bed.
You got a futon for your bed, huh?
Yeah, I'm a
Is
poor
that an
American.
efficiency apartment you're living in now?
I'm a poor American living paycheck to paycheck, and it's great. And I got a futon from Big Lots for my bed.
You got your piano in there?
No, I don't have my piano.
Where's that at?
It's at my wife's house. I don't know if I'm going to get it back.
Oh no. Didn't you just pay 8 grand for that thing?
6.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, well, hey man,
Ouch.
it's not a big deal. I've still
It'll
got
be up
it,
on Craigslist for free because it'll be too heavy to move out of the house when she moves out.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
I'm gonna come down there and no, I don't want to go to California.
no. You don't want to come to California.
No.
I mean, no, it's okay. I mean,
I got
California.
a buddy that owns a mountain there, or he has a grow lot on the side of a mountain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. This is one thing that I actually agree with communism and socialism, but I don't agree with the implementation of it. But I agree with it philosophically speaking.
Communism?
No one ever owns anything. You don't. You don't own anything.
Well, no, the bank owns it.
No, well, no. This is what I mean. It's not the institutions that own it. No, the idea of ownership is fundamentally an illusion.
Right.
Or transient.
Mhm.
Nothing physical is permanently enduring. So the only thing that you can take with you is wisdom. You know, if you take the alchemist Solve et Coagula, you know, you could the only thing that we have that can transcend incarnations is our wisdom.
Maxim opus, is that what it's called?
Yeah, maxim opus or something like that. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
Cali is beautiful, but politics is messing it up. Well, see, I don't think it's just messing up California. I think it's messing up the entire Western world that was founded on like really beautiful values, you know, and all for what? For this idiocy. This is the cultural tyranny that.
You know, there is a place for chaos theory in our world. I mean, it's obvious that it's a rhythm thing, that cyclical thing that goes. I think every time we get up to a certain, I find it odd, you know, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately. The 7.82 billion people on the planet, you know, 7.82 hearts, and 7.82 hearts.
Each one of them with their own free will.
Each one with their own free will, and the resonant frequency of the planet is 7.82 hertz. So each one of us is a billionth of a hertz.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, that's our auric input is a billionth. Yeah. You know, so I mean, what does that mean? You know, look up the word billionth once. You know, break it down on etymology and find out what that means.
Interesting. What does it mean?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you had.
I haven't looked into it. I'm just saying, you know, it's everything has its place, and you know, there's obviously some sort of number coincidence there that is beyond me that I just can't wrap my head around. But I mean, everything has a resonant frequency. Everything has a point in which it tips the scale. You know, like when you get to a certain point on a teeter totter, you're gonna go down, or you know, you're gonna lift the next person up. You know, and we're on that balancing act. And you know, who's to say that, you know, just our input. You go to the Heart Math Institute and they study consciousness and its effect on the planet as the Schumann resonance. You know, yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with this. And
no, I am familiar with this. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just crazy how, and all you have to do is think back to the last time you were in a stadium with a bunch of people when it was full, and you feel the energy.
Oh yeah, it's powerful.
You know, what if all these stadiums and stuff were, you know, and all of these things were just, I don't know, part of the grid, like
What, like they're built on ley lines or stuff like that?
yeah,
Or
stuff like
I
that.
don't know. I mean, I'm sure
Neither
you
do
can
I, but I mean, I
speculate.
don't even get into that. I'm just saying that the energy part of what we are actually feeds back into the system because that's essentially what we are here for.
Well, here's a point on that. Here's a point on that. If you lock down vast swathes of the global
Yes,
population
that's
and they
where,
get
yeah.
depressed and you take away their ability to earn a living and fulfill themselves and interact with the external world, and then you take what you just said, how there's a feedback loop from consciousness back into the system. That's, look, the warning signs have been there for a long time. The warning signs have been there in not just the David Icke mentality, but the the uprooting of Western culture for stupid, idiotic stuff.
Well, it starts with the family, man. Our family structure has gone down the toilet here in America.
This is Black Lives Matter. They want to get rid of clear family, and the biggest problem in the black community is a lack of a nuclear family. Shows you what they're really all about, you know.
Well,
I
you
find
can't blanket statement the black community for
no,
that.
no, no. I mean, and this is the same in Britain. One of the biggest issues in the black community is kids without a father, right? And this isn't like, see, this is the thing. Like, you shouldn't be afraid to like speak about this kind of stuff. But
Well, I'm not afraid to speak about it,
it's
but I'm not going to make
it,
blanket statements that I know nothing
this,
about.
this is the point. That's a unfortunate statistical fact. And if you were serious about helping your own community with that issue, you'd want to like restore the nuclear family, not put everyone in a fucking hippie commune. I don't get it. I think it's insidious. I really do.
Aaron says, Aaron, a buddy of mine from Australia, Australian School of Esoterica, a real good dude. He says it all started with elders being removed from the society in the early 1900s. What do you mean by that, Aaron?
Yeah, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, him and I, he's been I don't know, we touched base what 4 years ago, and he kept me going when I was ready to give up. What is it? It's responsible for the breakdown of the individual, family, and society.
But what does he mean by the
What do you mean by
elders?
elders? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too.
Like, what context does that make
But
sense?
yeah, but to get back to the family issue, Denzel Washington, Will Smith, they both talk about that very issue that you just talked about. You know, about the fatherless family and the structure of our family and the authoritative aspect of it. You know, a kid grows up with no authority figure in his life, and they're going to have a problem with authority in their whole life.
Will you
You know what I mean?
scale that up all the way through all the archetypes?
Yes.
A
And
fatherless
integration, yes.
family amplified in an archetypal sense would correlate to a godless society. Do you know what I mean? Because God is
Well,
the
because yeah,
father.
he's the father, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean,
Amber says we
see
don't
what
respect
what
elders
what
anymore. We just put them in homes as other cultures respect their elders and have their children with them to learn. Right.
hey, this was one of Krishna's predictions for Kali Yuga, is that we won't look after our elders. We'll just pay
Stuff
someone
them
else
in
to do
nursing
it.
homes and not let them visit their families because of COVID. And yeah, I get it. The
Yeah,
archetype of the
Krishna was on top of that.
grandfather or the expression of the magus within the family system has been skewed and programmed out of society, hence removed. Yes, that's what we just said. Yeah,
Mm.
spot on. Amber agrees.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, if what you just said, your buddy there about the expression of the magus, or like the mage, that the magus is the magician, so it's the one who uses his mind to change reality, and that relates to the Scorpio archetypes. And all the Scorpio in our society, all we have really representing the Scorpio archetype is sex and drugs and like, you know, deep state shit, when really you're supposed to have like mysticism, and the occult is supposed to balance that energy, you know. There's definitely,
you and Aaron would get along because he's into the same shit you're into. You guys
yeah,
talk
yeah.
on the same terms of the archetypes and all that.
Yeah, well, it's Kabbalistic correspondences, really. You think of all the
Yeah.
planets and all the signs of the zodiac rule different archetypes, and they all fit, and they all come from the divine. You know, this is why it's your inalienable right to speak freely.
Hmm.
It's a God-given right, not just analyzing it through the seven kingdoms, but through the archetypes of Sephiroth and zodiac. You know, and not just Sephiroth, but the whole tree. So, you know, I don't know, man. I don't fucking.
No, I totally agree with you. And it's iteration after iteration after iteration from the smallest to the biggest. And that's what the biggest is. What's the biggest to us? The cosmic man, right?
Yeah, on that point, Mr. Mentz has made about parents that both have to work. Now, I remember watching some like documentary about these rich people, and this guy was like, oh, I'm just too busy to spend time with the children, I'm just going to pay a nanny to look after her. It's like, well, why fucking have kids if you're gonna be so dedicated to your career and your work that you're
that's the problem with today's
you're not
world,
going to spend
isn't it?
quality time with your fucking children. You know,
Exactly.
your children will grow up fucked up, and you know they won't. And this is, you know, give the kids material shit, buy them off, so the kids equate material accumulation with that missing love, and then the more they accumulate, this insatiable desire for something that was never given can't be fulfilled with material stuff. You know,
Right.
it's you can't, you know, you have to, I don't know. I keep saying I don't know because I don't have a clue what's going on or what I'm doing anymore. I feel like a lost soul, Steve. I think my ego. I
Don't
think
we
my
all?
ego's just collapsing.
Don't
in
we all?
myself.
Though we walk through in the shadow of the valley of death, we shall fear no evil, right?
I thought you were going to say, I take a look at my life and I realize something.
There's nothing left. What
Coolio.
song is that?
Coolio.
Coolio, yeah.
Oh man, that's fucking some fucking nostalgia.
Colors. I'm a nightmare walking, psychopath stalking, king of my jungle, just a gangster walking, quick as a firecracker, or loud as a firecracker, quick as my fuse. Right. I'm trying to look
That's
for
a good point from Mr. Mensa. Some people are just too fucking tired from fucking
working.
daily grind. Yeah, I get that. But this is the toil of samsara, though. I don't think you can pin that exclusively on our society. I think, do you know what I mean? Because life in creation is naturally toil to deal with the transience of nature and managing the mundane. So I wouldn't pin that all on society. I don't know, but well, it's like we said in a few live chats ago, like the governments do know that if everyone had just what they needed, and we still had like nice cars and computers and gadgets and all that shit, and we just had what we needed, and these fucking iPhones were built to last rather than fucking, you know, planned obsolescence, we'd only have to work a 3 day work week.
Wouldn't even have to work that much, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm looking for this video that I wanted to show you because Aaron, remember the January 13th of this year? And when did COVID come on the scene? Remember? Cirrus, Pluto, you know, I'm trying to find the video so I can share it and just show you the synchronicities involved in that. Jack.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Go on. Finish your point. I just saw what Amber said about the ego collapsing is a beautiful thing. It is painful.
It hurts.
It's horrible.
You see me going through some struggle with it the other day, Amber.
Yeah. Oh, I had a point, but it's gone. I can't remember
Sorry.
what it was. Oh, it's all right, man.
Here it is, right here. All right, I'm gonna pause this real quick. Okay, check this out.
Kathy Ashby from Orlando, Florida, the last bastion of freedom in the world.
What was that?
Florida's the last bastion of freedom, even though nothing's free.
Folks, slightly slanted sleuth. I was asked to do. Can you hear this or see this?
I can see it, yeah.
No, this is cross conjunction on.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of conjunctions and
Well, this was January 13th of all days, dude. See?
Yeah.
At 3:33 a.m.
We have
And it was just crazy how I came across this, but
yeah,
the
there's a big conjunction in Capricorn.
see this?
Yeah.
This angle of this this sickle was
Just
right
like-
the same angle as Jupiter to, you know, this is the creator in Mithric terms right here.
Jupiter.
No, this whole thing, this whole symbol right here is the creator in Mithric terms. You know, Aeon.
What do you mean by that? Can you
This is the
elaborate?
light.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
know?
I thought you were talking about the solar system or the sun.
Well, that's included too because he's
Yeah.
standing on, you know, but I mean the caduceus and everything is incorporated. The lion, the key to heaven. You know, he's got the key in his hand. You know, he's gonna put it in his mouth. But and then this popped up. This is how I got to that date, dude. I was watching that A Star Is Born movie, and this image came into my head, dude. And I seen this image right after I left that, and when I first seen this image, I seen on this jet pillar SAS, and those are my initials. So then I'm like, what the hell is this? So then I asked Phil what this symbol is, and he says, dude, do you see what they're kneeling on? And I went, what? You know, this is a head. This is the light being born in your head.
Yeah.
You know, the whole symbology of it. And that is the same as this, you know?
Yeah. Hey, here's an original thought, and I want to like test it with you and the people in the chat to see what they think about it. But you know, I was contemplating on like what separates someone who's a free thinker to someone who's like not. And I concluded that someone who's a free thinker is someone who's began the journey on the great work, whether they know it or not. You know,
Right.
and also on that, like these world deep free thinkers.
But look at this. Remember what you said about Pluto? Hold that thought for a second. I'm sorry. I just wanted to finish my thought here. You see this? The symbol for Pluto?
Yeah.
Look at what's in the middle of this Godhead thing.
Ah, yeah.
See that, dude?
Yeah, there's a correspondence there, definitely.
Yes. Okay. Well, finish what you're saying. I don't know if you'll remember what you're saying now, but
No, I was talking about free thinkers, and what if like the real deep free thinkers that, you know, really don't like the whole sheeple collective hive mind thing? What if like they have completed the great work before and they had attained liberation and made it to moksha and then got booted out of moksha? Because that happens in the Hindu mythology. You can attain moksha, but then you have to leave and reincarnate. So anyway, what if these real deep free thinkers, because they've experienced true liberation and the true freedom of heaven, they're such great exponents of like liberty when they're here on earth, and they speak out against this tyranny because they have this real deep rooted unconscious reference point of what liberty is. I mean liberty in the sense of heaven.
it's felicity in heaven. Yes.
Felicity is an even better word.
Yes.
You know, I don't know. I don't know if that is a original thought. And my ego's trying to claim it and stick a little flag in it.
Right, right.
But yeah, that thought hit me the other day, and I was wondering if, like, how true that could be. You know,
Right.
not the originality of the thought itself. Like, are
So
free
what
thinkers
do you mean by
people?
that? They're the ones that have fallen out of favor from. What do you
No,
mean?
no. So to recapitulate, someone who thinks freely has begun the journey on the great work, right?
Correct.
That's the first thing I posit. And then the real deep free thinkers, they have completed the great work. Their soul has done it in a past incarnation, and the reason
Yes.
they go against like
Yes.
tyranny of culture and government and all that stuff and society, parent, teacher, minister. The reason they rebel against it is because they've experienced true liberation, and they have the memory of that in their akashic records, like buried in their soul, so they can still have a tenuous link to it psychologically, you know.
Right. I think that's the synchronicities that some of us experience in our life that point us to something more than what the physical world has to offer. You know, even in the face of this consumer ridden overuse of nature world we live in, I still knew deep down that there was more to this reality
Mm,
than what I was looking at, than what
mm,
I was experiencing. And that was because these odd things would pop up in my life that, at certain times in my life, I would know things were going to happen, or a number would pop up and I would avert something from happening. Half the time I didn't know what I averted, but when I started paying attention to that number 333, dude, it was weird how it steered my life,
mm.
you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, synchronicity can be weird,
And I
especially
think
if it's like,
the closer you get to the thinking of on the plane of the all, or the bigger picture, and
yeah,
start separating yourself from that, from the consumerism. I think them synchronicities pick up. I think it's just part of your adaption, or your attention to it. But in the same breath, shit starts piling on you like mad,
mm,
and it's because you're dealing with your own demons as well as the outer demons.
hmm,
You know,
yeah, yeah, it can be it's quite hellish, but yeah,
because
there's a good,
if I'm never to correct my ego, man, I'd be one freaking Donald Trump. I'd be one big ego.
yeah,
And I think all of that in our world is a manifestation of our collective ego, because we've separated ourselves so far from true nature and what we are, that there's no other way, but it's got to
yeah.
correct.
Yeah, the attribute, talking on Trump, the attribute about him that I liked is the fact he'll speak his mind and say what he thinks despite the consequences. That's something I
But
respect in
that's his
people.
biggest downfall too. Presidents shouldn't be tweeting on Twitter, dude. It's just childish. That's just stupid.
No
I
one
mean,
should no one should be tweeting on Twitter.
right? Because look at what the turmoil it causes. It's all of Facebook apps, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
You
Just
know,
back to that point I was making, there's an interesting comment from your buddy Aaron in Australia. He says the fallacy of my thought is that you have to initiate the great work, and we're all on the great work, and it's the self-awareness is what keeps one on the path. I think that's interesting. Well,
Mhm.
maybe to like rethink that, maybe someone who's a free thinker is a candidate for the great work. But then again, you could be a free thinker inflated in your ego and your sense of intellectualism, you know.
Yeah,
And
isn't that what the seed of the serpent is?
yeah, that's the tree of knowledge versus the
Yeah,
tree
well,
of
the seed of the
life.
serpent is the one that thinks he's wise and he thinks he knows everything, but yet he's not turning to the thing that is the wisest and the truest.
Yeah, you don't know shit.
And that's essentially what's going on in our world, is that people are just caught up in the car, stars, and bars mentality, because they
Mm,
think that's all that there is. you know
yeah.
One who's got the biggest money has got the biggest cars, got the biggest life, got the least amount of worry. But it's quite the opposite when you get there, I'm sure.
You know, it's like that with drugs. Like in the underworld of the black market of drugs, the person who has the most fucking drugs is the biggest bad man, is the biggest gangster. Like, oh, I've got the most coke. I got fucking kilos.
Dude,
of this.
I'm not proud of it, but I was there when I was younger. I was one of them people, you know. So I've been there, done that, and I know what that ego feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't good. And that's half the
But
reason
there's a
why.
mentality. The point is, there's a mentality of excess.
Yes,
Yeah.
just throwing money at everything. Like money, to me, money's never ever been, I don't. Obviously, I'm not after the dollar. Otherwise, I'd be asking for super chats and I'd be monetized, but I can't be monetized because I shared one of Max Egan's videos. And I got reprimanded by YouTube a while back, and I still haven't got that ability.
Fuck that guy. That guy's supposed to be like a new age metaphysical person, and he's copyright striking you for sharing his videos.
Who,
Like,
Max Egan?
yeah, what a
No,
dick.
he didn't do that. It was YouTube. It was because of a video that it was
YouTube.
a Christchurch massacre video. He was saying that because he was going against everybody that was saying it was all fake.
Oh, really?
And I didn't think it was fake. Neither did he. And he had the video, and it was so compelling to me that I shared it. And as soon as I shared it, I got a community guideline strike for terrorism. Yeah, dude. For supporting terrorism.
Oh dear.
And I appealed it, and I actually sat on the phone for 4 hours to talk to somebody because I want the ability to premiere a video and talk to people while my video is playing in the background. But I
Right.
can't do that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've got a car right now that was given to me. I work odd jobs when I can. I try
Yeah.
not to pay the big T word, or be on the books in that manner, but I'm married, so,
Yeah. What's that? Isn't it interesting? Trump is Saturn posing as Jupiter. I have no doubt both parties work for the same boss.
yes. Just like creation needs two parties.
Yeah, well,
It's just
yeah, but
like
this thing, Trump is obviously of the Saturnian archetype. That I have no doubt about. But there's this idea the Saturnian archetype is a bad thing. I don't view it as a bad thing.
Well, it depends on what you do with it, like anything else, right?
Well, it makes us take the least path of resistance and toil, but it's all in an effort to make us grow up spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
And kind of in the mundane world as an adult. But yeah, I could go on about Kabbalistic correspondences for hours, but yeah.
Well, the central bank in London is the true runner of this world.
I don't know. Maybe
I
don't
think they
know.
are. I think that's
to be honest, I don't.
that's where all of the money. It's obviously called the central bank for a reason.
I'll be honest. I don't really care what the main hub of institution is, but it's right. See, here's another interesting point actually on Kabbalistic correspondences. I was watching what's his name, Klaus. What's his name? The guy at the Great World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab, the Great Reset. I noticed, right, that they hold it. It starts on the 22nd of January, which is when the sun goes into 1 degree Aquarius, and Aquarius rules big institutions and mass like social change.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to conclude that they're definitely using the occult at Davos because
you pointed out that 9/11 instance with me too, didn't you?
Yeah, they did it. They did it.
Aaron pointed that out to me.
Yeah, they did it at a providential astrological time. So yeah.
The code is stealing from you. I hope Squatch and go the rest. Anybody can play this on there. I don't care. I mean, if you want to re-up my video and my ugly mug, go ahead. Good, more power to you.
Yeah. See what Mr. Menson says about the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is going to be fucking hell. If you look at Aquarian correspondences, because collectivism, it's weird, right? So collectivism is ruled by Aquarius, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the individual Aquarius rebels against the collective. So there's like this bipolar element to it, because I'm an Aquarius myself, right? I have Aquarius sun, and yeah, man, fuck being around on Earth during the age of Aquarius. It's gonna
Baby
be
Chain
grim.
Gang. I love that name. Baby Chain Gang. I'm sure we all have to come back until we get it right. Yes, that's
Yeah,
exactly what
I
this is
think
for.
Baby Chain Gang is
That's a
on
sweet
on
name.
the money.
I
Yeah,
love that name. Thanks
yeah,
for joining us. This is what we do here. We talk about
yeah. Michelle thinks the age of Aquarius is going to suck as well, I think.
well, I think every age that it goes from what was it? Having faith. What was the Jesus? The Pisces. What was Pisces? The age of Pisces called? The age of worship. What was it?
I don't know what you're
What
referring
do you
to.
call it, guys? It's going to be hell at first through Aquarius, is my point, because it's going to be the changing of guard, and at every changing of guard, it's going to be like Trump not
Yeah.
wanting to give it up to Biden. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. The other thing is technology. It corresponds to Aquarius, so we're going to be like bound by technology as well in this like Borg collective. I think the Borg from Star Trek kind of epitomized what the age of Aquarius would be like. And your buddy Aaron, Australia School, says it would be hell. Aquarius
Right.
would be nasty. I don't doubt it. Agreed. Agreed.
Right.
And all the new age people are like, oh, yeah, it's the age of Aquarius. And I'm like, no, it's going to be, I don't know.
Do you see Menza's comment or the new Yuga Bronze?
Haven't we gone through the Bronze Age and we're in the Iron Age now?
Well, yeah. And what
Bronze
happens?
Age is
What
gone
happens?
already.
What happens when the sun uses up all the iron? Or no, what it uses up all the other elements and turns into iron. Is that what it is?
Let me tell you something, Steve, and this is unequivocal. Scientists, and this is according to Eric Dollard, and I agree with Eric Dollard, so maybe it's not unequivocal.
Talking about,
but
you're
it
going
is
to tell
to
me
my
about
mind.
the color of
It
the
is to
sun,
my
right?
ego. They have no idea how the sun works.
Right.
They have absolutely not a clue. They have their theories, but they do not know. I think Eric Dollard's theory on the sun makes the most sense, that it's a transducer from another dimension. Doesn't this like go to the Norse myth of like Odin making holes in the abyss that lets light in from Pleroma?
Right. So he can peek through the veil, or what?
Yeah, yeah. All right. I might have to call it a night, man, because I don't want to keep my neighbor up upstairs.
All right, brother.
9 o'clock here. As much as I could talk for
9
hours,
o'clock? It's 11 o'clock here.
it's all relative.
Right. Well, hey, everybody, thanks for joining us and listening to us talk. I mean, we didn't really give any answers to anything, and nor will I ever have an answer for you. You are the one that's going to find your own answers, and I think each one of us is here to find those answers for ourselves. And the only thing I can hope to do is steer you or inspire you to look for those answers for yourself. And I'm not here to tell anybody what the truth is for you. For me, I know what the truth is, and the truth is that I love y'all, and thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
And you too, Jack.
Any Jerry's final thoughts, or was that Jerry's final thought?
Jerry Runke Monkey.
No, Jerry Springer.
Oh, no, Jerry Springer. I could think of all kinds of things he'd like to say.
No. What's your not Jerry Springer, like Jerry's final thought? When he did his little.
Oh yeah. My
thing.
final, yeah, right. Yeah, what's your final thought, Jerry?
I can't work out if I just want to end it all, or that's just my ego that's pissed off. I don't know. My life is shit right now, and it's great. And lastly,
Now, when you say end it all, you don't mean you're gonna go shooting yourself, right?
yeah, I'm gonna get a Glock and
Dude,
fucking devil's advocate.
are you serious?
No, I'm not serious. Of
Okay, well,
course I'm
don't
not
joke
serious.
around like that with me.
But I'm wondering if my life is really sucking and I'm suffering a lot. I can't work out if it's my ego's just being stroppy or it's genuine progress. I can't work it out. And on Mr. Mensa about the yugas get lower and lower as we go on. So we had Gold Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, and then the Age of Aquarius, which will suck. So yeah.
Right. And Baby Chain Gang.
Baby Chain Gang.
The word of the day it says, final thought, love is the answer. Love will find a way. Yes, it
The
will.
truth will set you free. There you go.
Yep, truth will set us free.
All right, Steve. It's been a
All right,
pleasure.
bro.
And everyone in the chat. Thanks a lot.
Yep. Love, peace, chicken grease, y'all. Thank you. Take it easy, bud.
Bye.
Bye.